Let's take a look at his lineup tonight. This team doesn't strike out much. They have the second fewest strikeouts in the American League. And D. Gordon, right at the top of the order, has been hot. In the last 9 games, he's batting .553, 21 for 38. He had a couple of hits in last night's game. He went 3 for 5. And then Mitch Haniger, he's got 18 road RBIs this season, tied for first in the American League. He's got 10 homers and 28 RBIs. And that is a tough lineup for Jaime Garcia, who makes the start tonight for the Jays.
Yeah, Jaime will get the ball tonight for his 7th start. He's coming off an outing at Cleveland. Remember that game 1 of that doubleheader last Thursday? He threw a season-low 3 1/3 innings, got touched up for 6 earned runs on 7 hits. When he is on, balls in the lower part of the strike zone with movement, he'll get his share of ground ball outs. He had 1 ground ball out in that game at Cleveland. He throws lots of strikes, and they need a bounce back. They need a big outing tonight from Garcia against the Mariners.
Defensively, if he's on his game, the infield should be very important. Russell Martin makes his first start at third base this season.
Yeah, JD, Josh Donaldson, not throwing well, so he is going to DH tonight. Russell will get the start at third base. He's been there before. We've seen him over there. He's started some games over there in his career. And I love where he's playing now with D. Gordon at the plate. 3 steps on the grass. That's what Luis Rivera told us today, that he wants his third baseman when D. Gordon's at the plate.
Trying to take that bunt away, and so you eliminate any thoughts of trying to bunt. Garcia said Gordon's in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game. Cut on and fouled out of play. Rivera told us the interesting thing about D. Gordon when he bunts, he doesn't move his feet. He just moves his bat, so it's very difficult for the third baseman to have any tip-off as to whether or not he's going to bunt.
Yeah, look how he sets up in the batter's box with that open stance. See that front foot? It's actually pointing towards first base. He just squares around and drops the barrel on the ball. It's actually running to first base.
And you could see the depth of the middle infielders as well because he runs so well. They are basically a double play depth to start this game. You see Solarte at second. He's right at double play depth, and there's that open stance Pat was referring to. 1-1. Ball 2. Like any pitcher, Garcia needs to pitch ahead. When you pitch ahead, you create a swing mentality in the hitters' minds. And I think overall that's been a problem for the entire rotation.
That was a problem in that last start in Cleveland. He just couldn't get the ball where he needed to.
Gordon took a wild swing at that fastball moving down and away. Garcia has always been a ground ball pitcher over the last 4 seasons. He's averaged almost 58% ground balls. There's a breaking ball that gets away from Maile, and Gordon's going to reach first. I don't know if Gordon thought Maile had blocked the ball, but he just jogged up the first baseline, not aware that went all the way back to the backstop.
Well, that's unfortunate. You have a strikeout. You keep him off the bases. D leading the major leagues in base hits with 49, also leading the major leagues in stolen bases. Breaking ball, and Luke can't go down and block it. Thought he was going to short hop it, tried to backhand it. It's a strikeout, but Gordon's going to reach first base on the wild pitch.
So now you got to keep your eye on Gordon. He is always a threat to run. He's 15 for 17 in steal attempts. He stole third in the 6th inning in last night's game. Ground ball, base hit. Past Martin down the left field line. Gordon is around second. He's headed for third. And they're going to wave him home. They got a shot. Here's the throw from Gurriel. Not in time. Go to third. And Martin swipes at him, and he wants to have the Blue Jays look at it. Very aggressive third base coach Scott Brocious waving Gordon around third. Gurriel got the ball in pretty good shape, and he had a shot at the runner at home.
You know, we talked so much yesterday about what speed can do for you to help you score runs. It's not just stolen bases or anything like that. It's just straight, flat-out speed. It looks like Segura jammed that thumb. Watch Gordon on the throw home. He's going back to first base. With that great speed, he's actually going to score standing on first base because he can run. He's got his third base coach. He sends him really not a chance. The throw's offline. And then the play at third base, the white tag. Let's see if he gets him. Looked like he tagged his hand, but he was already on the bag.
And I tell you what, how many times are we going to see this? Head first slide, players jam their thumbs. They tear the ligaments on that thumb. Martin made the tag, but it appeared he tagged the hand of Segura while he was on the third base bag. But Segura certainly feeling the impact. What happens is the players hit that hard bag and it bends that thumb back, and oftentimes they'll rupture that tendon. There's the tag. He looked like he was in there safely, and now he's going to feel the impact of that hard slide.
You know, it's on his right hand, Buck. It looked like that right hand didn't hit the bag. It actually hit Martin's shoe on that replay. Russell was in position to make that catch in the tag, and then he slid through the bag, and it looked like that right hand caught the back part of the shoe of Martin.
Swinging a drive, a fly ball. Segura tagging at third. Not that deep. Teoscar coming in, and he's going to make a strong throw, cut off by Smoke, and Segura will hold at third.
Let's take a look at that slide one more time at third base. You can see Martin and Segura, they're talking about it. The left hand's going to go on the bag. Watch the right hand. Right into that shoe, and he bends his thumb back. That's where he feels it. You can see him still holding his right thumb.
Yeah, man, it hit Russell's shoe. So he extended the left hand and then slid into the shoe of Martin. So one out now on the Cano fly ball to right. Wasn't that deep. Now you've got Nelson Cruz.
Infield is going to play back again. Garcia throws a lot of ground balls. Nelson Cruz. This is a situation made for him.
RBI situation. He was 2 for 4 with an RBI last night. 17 ribbies on the season for Cruz. He's the DH. What a block by Maley. Boy, he saved a run right there as he went down on both knees and played it off his chest protector.
Jaime Garcia can be very tough to catch because his ball moves all over the place. And you've got a lot of confidence. Show a lot of confidence if you call curveball with a runner at third base. Luke just ate that ball up.
Fastball upstairs. Gordon struck out but reached on a wild pitch, and then he scored from first base on the double by Segura. 2-1 pitch. There's a good moving fastball downstairs for strike 2.
Now he can go for the strikeout. Again, when he's on, he throws a lot of ground ball outs. His ball moves all over the place.
Good fastball. 3-2 now, full count. Mitch Haniger's on deck. We mentioned Haniger with 18 RBIs on the road. That's tied for first in the American League. Overall, he has 28 on the season. He will bat next. Pull foul on the breaking ball.
Cruz is such a good breaking ball hitter. He hits from that open stance. Really dives into the ball, keeps his hands back. He's had a hit in 3 straight games against the Blue Jays.
Three-two. Ground ball. Nice play by Gurriel. He's going to come home. What a terrific play. Now they've got to finish it off. Maley puts the tag on Segura, and he is out. What a terrific play by the shortstop, Gurriel. Each time you see him play, he's answering more and more concerns about whether or not he can play shortstop.
Oh, he can play shortstop. I think his arm really projects to be a shortstop. How about this for a heads-up play? He's playing back, conceding the run. Segura does not get a good jump. Then decides to go against Gurriel, and he comes up firing. And that's all it took right there. As Luke Maley tags him, he's out of the baseline. Takes away the base hit. Sets himself, slips a little bit. That back foot slipped a little bit, but then had the presence of mind to go home and get the out in a rundown.
Saves a big run right there. Here is Mitch Haniger batting with 2 outs and Cruz at first. Those are plays you just can't teach a player. He has to make a split-second decision. Once he gloved it, and he had a ball skip past him last night in a very similar fashion. He makes the adjustment, makes the play, and looks up and fires to home to save a run.
Luis Rivera was saying that also about him. He said, I'll tell him one thing one time, and that's all I have to do. Tell him one time. And he remembers. He remembers where to play the guy. He remembers what he did last time up. Pretty good for a young kid playing in his first season in the big leagues.
Yeah, oftentimes Louis will give an infielder instructions and then he'll look up and he has to move him again. That's not the case with Gurriel. Once he tells him to play a player in one spot, he looks up the next time and he's right there.
And he'll also make adjustments on his own. He was telling me that they had him placed at second base down in Tampa in a certain spot, and the right-handed batter kept fouling the ball over the first base dugout. Louis looked out, and where was Gurriel? He had taken about 3 or 4 steps to his left to cover up that hole, noticing that right-handed batter was late on a lot of those pitches. It's baseball instinct.
3-0. High strike. Now it's 3-1. Seattle has a 1-0 lead. Gene Segura with the RBI, his 25th of the season. Ball 4. A 2-out walk issue to Mitch Haniger. And now you've got a lefty batter at the plate, Kyle Seager. Seager saved the no-hitter last night. A terrific defensive play in the 7th inning. He took a hot shot away from Kevin Pillar, dove to the line, popped to his feet, and threw across the diamond to retire Pillar. They played some good defense in support of James Paxton.
How about his night last night? He can enjoy that seat tonight after what he did in last night's game.
Well, Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach. Breaking ball for strike 1. This is a very tough lineup for many reasons. They've got good balance, lefty-righty mix. They've got power. They've got average hitters. But more than anything, they don't strike out.
They don't strike out at all. They get their share of infield hits.
That hit him. Hit him right in the rib cage. They have pitched him inside in both of these first 2 games. Everything they have thrown him has been inside.
And that one got away from him. Fastball, and it tails and hits him right in the chest. It's like he was actually trying to cut that ball, and it backed up on him and hit Seager first in the wrist and then in the chest. You mentioned that they don't strike out a lot. They've got the highest swing percentage of balls that are put in play.
It's unusual. The manager goes out for the first chat on the mound, and generally when that happens, it's like, hey man, we need you to throw strikes. We need you to be deep into this game. Let's go. I can speak from experience about that. Jaime Garcia got up to a good start with the Blue Jays. When you look at his first 3 starts, a very good ERA. His opponent's batting average is the same over his last 3, but the biggest difference is the fact that he's walked a few more guys, and I think that has created some problems for him. And the team is 1-2 in his last 3 starts.
He's given up his share of hits also. Extra base runners clogging up the bases. you're pitching in and out of trouble. You mentioned the manager going out there. They need some depth tonight from their starter. Last night's starter, Marcus Stroman, 5 innings. They needed 4 relievers, and they're only carrying 7 on the roster right now. And they had to use 4 of them in last night's game.
This is the dangerous Ryan Healy. He had 2 hits in the game last night. Neither one of them hit particularly hard. He had a rolling, swinging bunt up the third base line and then had a broken bat single into right. Garcia ahead. Whatever John Gibbons told him, he should write it down.
Be aggressive with the fastball. That's what it looks like after those first 2 pitches.
Another strike.
Establish that fastball and pitch off of that fastball. Use your cutter and your breaking ball and your changeup, but you got to get ahead. You got to use your fastball early in the count.
Bases are loaded. Garcia's ahead 0-2 with 2 outs. Strike 3 call. And Healy knew it. He threw his bat aside as soon as that ball crossed home plate, so the Blue Jays minimize the damage. Seattle scores just 1 run. Wade LeBlanc will take them out when we come back to Rogers Center. Russell Martin is playing third base. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Blue Jays are 19-17, still third in the American League East. Josh Donaldson against Wade LeBlanc, the starter for Seattle, is 4 for 9 with a pair of home runs. And then Kevin Pillar in his last 13 games, he's hit nearly .350 with some damage, 12 extra base hits and 7 RBIs.
Tonight they get another lefty starter. It's not like James Paxton last night. It's Wade LeBlanc, the former Blue Jay. He's 33 years old, making his seventh appearance, second start of the season. He's actually taking the place of Erasmo Ramirez, who's been placed on the disabled list. Last time out, 4 innings, 3 hits. They're still working on his pitch count to get him up.
Hernandez takes strike 2. So LeBlanc has made that 1 start, as Pat mentioned. Threw 70 pitches in that outing. Ground ball, base hit through the right side. Oh, what a pretty swing with 2 strikes. Leadoff single for Teoscar Hernandez. The defense for the Mariners was on their toes last night. Heredia, Gordon, and Haniger in the outfit. Segura, Cano up the middle, and Kyle Seager with that terrific play last night.
That was the play of the game defensively at last night's game. Actually caught the ball behind him, and then the beauty of that play, on top of catching it, he came up and threw a strike over to first base. That was the Blue Jays' best chance to get a hit last night. And Kyle Seager said, not so fast. He's a Gold Glover, former Gold Glove third baseman.
Here is Josh Donaldson outside. That hit by Teoscar Hernandez snaps a streak of 32 consecutive plate appearances for the Blue Jays without a hit, going back to Sunday in Tampa Bay. So that's a good start for the Blue Jays. An 0-2 base hit through the right side.
You know, like I said, when you face someone like Paxton, and Paxton was throwing bullets, today the ball should look like a beach ball to the Jays.
Donaldson takes one inside for a 2-0 count. Yeah, that's really difficult for anybody, especially another left-hander. You're looking at a left-hander, second consecutive day. And Paxton, he had a fastball up to 99 in the 9th inning. Donaldson takes a strike.
LeBlanc is going to be around the plate. Doesn't walk too many batters. That start last time out was his first start since August of 2016. He's basically been a bullpen guy for most of his career.
Three and one now to Donaldson. Strike two. Donaldson thought it was low, and it may have been. Full count with Hernandez at first. Zunino behind the plate's got a strong arm. He's thrown out 4 of 10 base stealers.
And if you send that runner right now, just make sure he goes home. LeBlanc's got a decent pickoff move.
And that's a pedestrian move. That's
Absolutely.
not the A move for sure.
No.
He just gave Hernandez something to think about. He might come over there with a good one now.
Yeah, this might be the time where he shows his good one again. If you're running on this pitch, just make sure he goes home before you try and steal.
Donaldson called out on strikes. LeBlanc never threw anything over the heart of the plate. He hit the corner for strike 3.
Well, the veteran's been around for a while. In fact, he spent some time in the Blue Jays organization. This is what he will use. Fastball 46% of the time, a little changeup, curveball, slider, cutter, a little bit of everything. He's going to have to keep the ball down. He's going to have to change speeds against the Blue Jays. Keep them off balance.
Another throw over to first to check in on Hernandez. He's 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts. And Elvis Solarte batting .264. Playing at second base again tonight. He goes after the first pitch. LeBlanc is now 33 years old. He's from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Pitched at the University of Alabama. Solarte with a big swing fouls it back off the screen.
That looked like it possibly his changeup. Solarte's all over it.
Oh, 0-2. LeBlanc was actually with the Yankees in spring training. He was released on the 25th of March at his own request. Wanted to seek out other opportunities.
Found it in Seattle. They have had some injury problems to start the season in their starting rotation. And Erasmo Ramirez was supposed to make this start. LeBlanc comes out of the bullpen.
LeBlanc was actually with the Mariners in 2016. Appeared in 11 games, made 8 starts. Back to LeBlanc. He takes his time, throws a strike to Cano. And that's an easy double play. 1-4-3 on the double play. LeBlanc showing his experience, made a terrific throw to Cano at second.
Overwhelming, becoming the second Canadian to throw a no-hitter alongside Dick Fowler in 1945. The first to do it on home soil, has this entire nation bursting with pride, especially in Paxton's hometown of Ladner, BC, where the city sign, let's put it this way, got a little bit of a makeover last night. The patriotic Ladner Heron is now sporting a James Paxton jersey as it welcomes visitors at the city limits. Now, I spoke to Mariners PR director Tim Helvey, who told me he didn't leave the ballpark until 1:45 a.m. because he was returning emails of congratulations for Paxton, fielding calls for Paxton's and numerous media requests from across the country. Helvey told me, Buck, quote, "I had no idea how passionate Canada's baseball fans were of one of their own." Well, now he knows.
Yeah, it was a terrific evening for James Paxton and the entire baseball community across Canada when you really think about it. It was just the third no-hitter thrown here at Rogers Center. Justin Verlander in 2011. Dave Stewart way back in 1990 while pitching for the A's. That's Pete Harnish, who is a roving pitching instructor currently with the big club.
He did it under 100 pitches, too. Think about that. 99 pitches, and his last 2 pitches were pushing triple digits.
Yeah, the only pitchers that have thrown fewer than 99 pitches in a no-hitter, as Zunino hits it on the ground. Martin takes his time, and oh, what a scoop. Justin Smoke's as good as anybody in the game at taking those low throws out of the dirt. He digs that one out and saves an error for Russell.
He's done that a few times since he has come back. He's Russell, he set his feet right here, catches, sets, uncorks a low throw over to first base, but watch Smoke go down and get that one. I asked Smokey about that. I said, have you always been able to do that? He said, my father used to throw me so many balls like that when I was a kid playing first base. I've always played first base. Ever since I was in grade school, I've always played first base. He says, I've always been able to pick it. And he was thanking his father for that. He said, you wouldn't believe how many times he said, defense is important. Hitting is great, but let's spend as much time on defense as we do on offense.
Well, that's terrific, and Smoke certainly has earned the right to be one of those guys you consider as a best fielder. This is Guillermo Heredia, who is playing in left field tonight. That one hit the umpire. That caught him right on the left arm. And we talked about how difficult it is to catch with Jaime Garcia out there, and he wants to wave off the trainer, but that one got him good. Jose Ministral, one of the assistant trainers for the Blue Jays, tending to the umpire, and that really hit him flush.
Yeah, he's bounced a few of these here the first couple of innings. Right on the elbow.
Boy, that hits you on that big muscle that connects your elbow to your bicep, and that one is going to be sore. I can speak from experience about that.
Your whole arm goes dead, doesn't it?
You can see the welt that's already popped up on his arm.
I hope he's right-handed when he throws the ball back.
Hand it to Luke.
He's going to hand it.
Well, that's tough, and you can see the umpires wearing that inside chest protector. Yeah, it looks good, but that old balloon chest protector would have prevented that kind of injury. The arms are behind that old balloon thing, but it's not very sexy. 3-1 to Heredia. Fly ball that's headed toward the seats, and it'll be out of play. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. Foul chip Mainly can't hang on to it.
For a number 9 hitter, he's got a big swing. Looked like that might have been ball 4 right there, but he's thinking about doing some damage. It looked like he was just trying to get on base, did it?
Another 3-2 pitch to Heredia. He'll take ball 4 up and away. So we mentioned the 99 pitches in the no-hitter by James Paxton. Since 1988, the 99 pitches is tied for the 9th fewest used in a no-hitter. Darryl Kyle threw 85 pitches in his no-hitter. David Cohn, Philip Humber, Dennis Martinez, Chris Bosio with Seattle threw 97 pitches. Derek Lowe, Kenny Rogers, and Edison Volquez all threw fewer than 98. And there's a tie between Darryl Kyle and Scott Service, the manager. Service caught Kyle's no-hitter. That was September 8th, 1993. Scott Service catching for Darryl Kyle when he threw just 85 pitches to complete his no-hitter.
85 pitches. Was that 9 innings? Goodness gracious. Swing away.
And you know what? Somebody mentioned this after the game last night. The only way people throw complete games anymore is if they're throwing a no-hitter.
That was really interesting. We were talking to Josh Donaldson about that, and he said, hey, he was still fresh in the 9th inning. He could have thrown 5 more innings. That's how hard he was throwing.
They got him picked off if Smoke can make a good throw, and he does. Justin Smoke, not only does he have a good glove, he's got a terrific arm. And Heredia went on Garcia's first move. Garcia got it to Smoke, and then Smoke made a good throw to second base.
That was his first mistake. You're on base. You got to make sure he comes home. Justin's got a strong and accurate arm. Watch him float to the inside, throw the ball where he needs to, and a quick tag by Gurriel, out number 2. So that wipes out that walk to the number 9 hitter.
And D. Gordon with a 1-1 count. Line down the left field line. That's foul. Boy, Gordon is a throwback leadoff hitter for sure. He bunts. He slaps the ball the other way. He's got speed. You just don't see many leadoff hitters with this skill set as D. Gordon.
High on base percentage. Good batting average. Look at that over his last 9 games, what he has done. Such a threat. These types of players manufacture runs all by themselves.
Breaking ball popped up on the infield. Smokes had a busy inning. He makes the catch. Gordon's retired, and Jaime Garcia faces the minimum in the second. Seattle with a 1-0 lead.
By TD, we just saw a great defensive play by Justin Smoke. Well, he can give you some batting tips as well. That's one of the 14 packages that you can bid on tonight. It ends, of course, 10 minutes after the last out in the 7th. So take a friend and go into the tunnel with Justin Smoke, and then you'll each get a jersey, baseball hat, and batting gloves. Of course, you're going to work up a sweat and an appetite, so you get food and drinks. Then you can watch the Real Pros MVP and, of course, take in a Jays game. Buck?
Justin Smoke is a terrific guy. Got a very dry sense of humor. It'd be a very worthwhile prize if you get a chance to get some hitting tips from Justin Smoke. And he's heard a lot of them. It took him a long time to have a breakthrough season that he had a year ago. Former #1 pick of the Texas Rangers. He goes after the first pitch and hits it right over the top of the mound. Ryan Healy, the first baseman, makes the catch.
He's got a great sense of humor. He was telling me the other day, he said he had missed a couple of days while he was gone, the birth of his daughter, and he got to face Chris Archer. He said, my bat felt like it was 100 pounds carrying it up to the plate up there, but he did get a hit off Archer.
Yeah, he said, welcome back. You get to face Archer. Oh, thanks a lot. One out, Kevin Pillar. Kevin batting .309 for the season. On base percentage, impressive at .356. Thing about Pillar is he will take a lot of strikes now. He's confident he can hit with 2 strikes. He's not that concerned about falling behind.
There is no substitute for experience. And I think Kevin now has been in the big leagues long enough that experience shows. And he knows he's a good player. He knows he belongs here. He can hit good pitching. He can hit all kind of pitching. And you can just see him. Every at bat is the same now. It's called consistency.
Pillar called out on strikes, another inside fastball. That's the pitch Donaldson was called out on in the first. So 2 outs quickly here for the Jays in the bottom of the second.
LeBlanc again doesn't throw hard. He's going to have to pitch to the edges. Mike Zunino frames that one up for him. Zunino got a lot of praise last night from his starting pitcher James Paxton, putting down the right fingers, calling a good game.
There's certain things you can see on the field that tell you what the players think about a pitcher. Zunino did a terrific job, and he was elated when the final out was recorded. He went out and started the celebration with his pitcher. But then when you think about all the great defensive plays that were made behind Paxton, I mean, that speaks volumes about the effort the team put in. Kyle Seager with that terrific play at third base. Ben Gamble made a running catch in the outfield. Kendrys Morales lined out to D. Gordon in the center. There's a high fly ball to left. Heredia over toward the line. He waits for it and makes the catch. Russell Martin's retired. Wade LeBlanc retires the side in order in the second. We'll go to the third. Seattle with a 1-run lead. Segura, Cano, and Cruz for the Mariners when we come back.
If you have that opportunity, you can bid on it, take in a meal at the Shangri-La Hotel, and then watch some Jays batting practice, as well as take in the game and get a Hap bobblehead. You can do so if you bid on it right now. The Foodie Feast with Jay Hap is going for $2,500, and I don't think it'll stay at that price for long. Again, you can call the number on your screen or check it out online. As for the Buck Martinez bobblehead, Buck, there's only about 150 of them left. This is going hot.
Yeah, I got a big family. That's great news, Ivanka. It's all for a great cause. And I want to thank all the volunteers that are answering the phones on the J-Scale broadcast auction. A terrific night always, and we thank you all across the country for making those bids, and it always goes to a great cause. Jade's Care Foundation helps so many kids across Canada, and you know you're doing something well when you make a contribution.
Our boy Scotty Carson got his 2 bobbleheads, didn't he?
Well done, Scotty. Gene Segura, he's driven in the only run of this game. He had an RBI double in the first. Just past Russell Martin at third, went down in the left field corner and scored D. Gordon all the way from first base. Had an interesting conversation with Mel Stottlemyre Jr. today about the information available to pitchers, how there's so much video and so many scouting reports, and we were kind of exchanging thoughts and ideas about that. And he said sometimes pitchers get overwhelmed with information. You're so concerned about exploiting the weaknesses of the hitter that you forget about your own strengths and get away from that.
And you get swallowed up in that, and you're sitting out on that mound and you're trying to go through scouting reports instead of concentrating on just executing your pitches. That was a great conversation with him.
Little chopper. Garcia is going to have to make a good play and throws it down the right field line. Segura is going to second. He will stop there as they get the ball back in. But that'll probably be an infield hit and an air charge to Garcia. The air will be his second of the season. The little chopper that was kind of out of no man's land, and Garcia made a hurried throw and threw wide of first.
Yeah, Justin Smoke can pick a lot, but he's not going to pick this. Might have been better off just to pick it up and just put it in your back pocket. That one right into the runner. Rolls that ball and it just dies on the turf. Really no chance, even if he comes up to firing a strike. So the Mariners have their leadoff batter on once again.
It is an infield hit and an air charge to the pitcher. Segura is 2 for 2 so far. Robinson Cano hit a shallow fly ball to right his first time up. Maley got crossed up. They have a runner at second base, and Luke was able to catch that curveball, but he was expecting something else.
Yeah, because it was so slow, he was able to react to it. Good time to use your 6 mound visits. Go out there, make sure you're on the same page. You can see he's expecting something a little firmer. And he still has the presence of mind to frame it there and hold it.
Yeah, and that's a very unnerving feeling, especially with Jaime Garcia, because his fastball moves all over the place, and you call for a fastball and you expect, well, it might be moving, and then you get a curveball. And the only reason Luke was able to catch it was 79 miles an hour.
Because it was so slow. So a little reminder meeting out on the mound, what they're going to be using here.
Cano behind. No balls and a strike. Pulls it on the ground. Smoke will go to the bag. You talk about a professional hitter. Robbie Cano just pulled that very intensely to the right side of the infield to move Segura over to third.
See how he rolled his wrist to make sure that that ball went to the right side? You don't try and make an out going to the right side. You're still trying to get a hit. But you got to make sure he gets it over there. Watch his wrist in the bat head. Rolls it right over to make sure he pulls it to the right side of the infield and give Nelson Cruz another opportunity for an RBI.
Yeah, he's always thinking about a hit, but in that situation, he wanted the hit to be on the right side of second. And now Nelson Cruz hitting with the infield drawn in. Cruz hit that ball to shortstop. that Gurriel fielded and threw home to get Segura in a rundown. It looked like it was going to be another RBI for Cruz. The infield was back. He hit it to short, but Gurriel made a terrific play. Ground ball. Martin will hold Segura at third.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
The roof is open. It's May 9th, and the earliest the roof has been open here at Rogers Center, April 16th, 2002. Boston Red Sox were here. So it is finally warmed up to the point where we can have open air baseball, and there's nothing like it when they push that roof back for the first time.
It was like a breath of fresh air this afternoon when they opened that thing up.
Yeah, it was really a great sight. Blue Jays actually took a team picture today for the first time this year. Mitch Haniger, he drew a walk his first time up. Driven in the alley in left field, and that's going to get down and go over the wall for a ground rule double. So Haniger drives home Segura from third. For Haniger, that's his 19th ribby on the road this year, his 29th overall.
Yeah, and this is a team, it's tough to keep them down, the Seattle Mariners. They came into this game with the 4th best average hitting with runners in scoring position, and already they had stranded a runner at third base, and Jaime Garcia almost got through it once again, but he leaves a pitch out over the plate for Haniger. This might be one of the most underrated players in all of baseball, Mitch Haniger.
Yeah, he's a very good player. He's dealt with injuries last year. Haniger a year ago hit .282 with 16 homers and 42 ribbies. Kyle Seager got hit by a pitch his only time up. Blue Jays have really stayed in his kitchen.
Well, all you have to do is look at the numbers. Coming into the game today, he had one of the lowest batting averages on inside pitches, and they track that. They track where the ball is when he makes outs. .069 this year on inside pitches, so they have really pounded him inside.
He was 1 for 5 in the game last night. They threw a pitch away from him. He hit a little bloop single into left field. So Blue Jays have a pretty good idea that they want to attack him on the inner half of the plate, lefty or righty. Doesn't make any difference.
And if you throw the ball in there, sometimes you're going to get hit, and that's exactly what happened his last time up.
Another pitch inside, but upstairs. Seager has reverse splits. He comes into this game batting .273 against lefty pitching, just .222 against right-handers. But that would speak to his strength being out over the plate.
Yep, and keeping that front shoulder in against the lefties.
Fly ball over near the foul line. Pompey kind of stutter stepped as if he may have lost it a while. He got a glove on it, but there was some indecision there for some reason. It's still twilight here at Rogers Center. The lights haven't taken full effect, but watch the stutter step.
Yeah, he doesn't see it initially, stutters right there, and then picks it up and then misses it. The wind is blowing the ball back in. Cano's ball in the first inning, fly ball to right field, got blown back in, if you remember. That ball was blown towards the stands in left field. Now they're going to play him a couple of more steps towards the foul line. That's a catchable ball.
That's what happens in the first open air game of the season. The wind becomes a factor. Seattle with a 2-0 lead, and there you can see the banners being blown around. It is a pretty stiff breeze now. Luke Mailey's had a workout behind the plate already. A little smile on his face. He thought he might catch Haniger napping at second. Russell Martin appreciates that.
He knows what that's all about. I wonder if that would have counted, though. Every time a ball hits the dirt, they call timeout and throw it out. He didn't throw that one out. He threw it to second base.
Full count to Kyle Seager. There are 2 outs. He reaches for that outside pitch and pokes it foul. Brian Healy called out on strikes back in the first. He's on deck. Ball 4, breaking ball. Seager checked his swing. Let's check in with Ivanka Osmak.
Buck, there are less than 100 limited edition Buck Martinez bobbleheads. It's looking pretty good. So if you want one, this is your only opportunity. Go online or you can call. I think he looks pretty good, Buck. You approve or what? But again, there's only 86 left.
I was absolutely pleased with it. I thought it turned out to be a very nice little bobblehead doll. I never really thought about having a bobblehead doll before, but it turned out pretty good. Brian Healy batting with runners at first and second in 2 outs. Segura started the inning with an infield hit. He went to second when Garcia threw it wild at first. And then he came in from third on the Haniger RBI double. Haniger was on the disabled list with a sprained ankle. And he has come back, hit 5 home runs since he was activated on April 28th. He's got big power.
Outstanding power. Good low ball hitter, too.
High fly ball. You got to stick with all the balls in the air because you just don't know how the wind's going to affect it. But that's about 4 rows back out of play. You know, power is one thing. It's very difficult to find. I mean, I know there are a lot of power hitters, but when you're trying to scout somebody, oftentimes their power numbers aren't established in the minors. They don't really become power hitters till they get to the big leagues. Tough pitching down there. The ballparks aren't well lit. You're playing at night, and sometimes the hitters don't really discover their power stroke till they play a couple of years in the big leagues.
And they're young. They just haven't filled out. They just haven't got strong enough. Don Mattingly, the most he hit in the minor leagues in 1 year was like 9. Came to the big leagues, and he was a 30 home run type of hitter. He learned how to hit home runs.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Ryan Healy. They mentioned the power, and certainly everybody's been caught up in the Vladdy Guerrero great start down in Double-A, but you got to remember he's 19 years old, and he's going to have some ups and downs. So, you know, everybody wants the Blue Jays to call him up now, call him up now.
No.
But they've got to let him get some seasoning.
I want a complete player when he comes to the big leagues. I want a complete player, offensively, defensively, and in the clubhouse.
You know what, and the thoughts are that Vladdy Guerrero is going to be the type of player that's a leader. And he has shown that early in his career. So you just let him develop all those skills in the minor leagues, and when he comes here to stay.
That's right. You don't want him to come up, go down, come up, go down. You want him to come up here when he's ready, and he can help the ball club.
Luke Bailey has done a terrific job with those balls in the dirt. He had one get away from him from the first batter of the ball game. D. Gordon struck out. The wild pitch bounced away from Bailey. Gordon reached first and would eventually score the first run of the game.
Another ball in the dirt. Watch how he smothers this one. Just catch it with any part of your body.
He's putting on a clinic behind the plate early in this game. 3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be moving on the pitch. There they go. Ground ball to Martin at third. takes his time across the diamond. That'll end the inning. The Mariners get a run on 2 hits, a walk, but leave a pair. They have taken a 2-0 lead.
Karaoke machine, you probably do too. So why don't you sing it with the actual band Journey and Def Leppard? It's happening in a couple weeks at the Rogers Center. You can invite 31 of your closest friends to a Rogers Center luxury suite. Plus you get a year subscription to Spotify Premium and a record player. There is no bid right now on this yet, and it's starting at $2,500. I bet Jays fans aren't going to stop believing, Buck. Sorry, I had to go there.
You know what, Ivanka? I think that's a terrific gift, especially if you're celebrating an anniversary or a birthday. You take 31 guests and have a suite, watch the whole concert, and Journey.
Did she say record player?
A record player.
They still make record players? That would be worth it right there, getting a record player.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits it in the air into center. D. Gordon now, he got fooled by the wind. It goes off his glove. And Gurriel is going to slide in safely to second. Well, we've seen the outfielders have problems here. This is the first open-air game of the season at Rogers Center. Gordon's making the transition from the infield to the outfield. And he got fooled on that fly ball.
I'm telling you, the wind is doing something to the baseball tonight. That's 3 times now in 3 innings that we have seen the outfielders get tricked and fooled. He wasn't real sure where it was, and then at the last second reaches up to try and make the catch. Haniger would probably had a better shot, the right fielder. Looked like he had a beat on it, then he had to back off because he was called off.
It'll be an air charge to Gordon, his 4th of the season. Here's Luke Maley, the catcher. Yeah, you were right about Haniger. He had a better shot. The wind was blowing the ball toward him, but he yielded to the center fielder, and they both could feel the presence of one another, and they both kind of shied away from that collision.
That's the thing about playing in the outfield. When you make miscues like that, it costs you extra bases. Blue Jays have a golden opportunity now to get on the board.
Luke Maley got off to a terrific start with the bat. Drives this one in the air. This is going to be another adventure. Haniger coming way in. That ball was really blown back toward the infield. Maley's retired. So Dalton Pompey will step in the box. The switch hitter will bat right-handed against Wade LeBlanc. Swung on and missed by Pompey. Don's making his second start in left field. There was a time when it was in doubt as to whether or not Curtis Granderson would be able to play. He is ready to go now and available.
We might see Curtis tomorrow. The right-hander is scheduled on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, Mike Lee. Curtis was out here taking extra fly balls, working with some of the young kids like Anthony Alford. I love this, that he's sitting right next to the veteran Granderson during the ball game. I hope he's picking his brain for as much information as possible.
Well, he's probably talking about the situation tonight with the wind blowing out there, and how do you make adjustments? When do you read the ball? And you have to make adjustments on the fly. Granderson has played so long, he's dealt with a lot of different situations, and he can be the shell answer man to all these young outfielders.
All you have to do is ask, right? Veteran players love helping younger players. They love it because they remember when they were a young player.
Bullpen drives it to left field. Heredia has it. Gurriel is going to be out at second. He assumed that ball was going to be down for a base hit. Heredia made a nice running catch and a quick throw to second base, and Gurriel is called out. The Blue Jays are going to check the replay, but he takes off assuming this is going to be a base hit.
Yeah, but then here comes Heredia. He makes the catch now. He tries to transfer, drops the ball, but he was called out by the third base umpire. And then there's the throw to get him at second base. Catch, drops. That's legal, trying to get that ball out and out at second base.
Cano makes the nice stretch. Gurriel is doubled off to end the inning. Seattle still leads it 2-0.
With participants in the Jays Care Home Run Scholars After School Program. Pleased to be joined by Michael Armstrong with TD. TD proudly sponsors Home Run Scholars. So, Michael, tell us a little bit about the Home Run Scholars, TD's commitment to literacy, which is so vital for these young people, and TD's partnership with the Jays Care Foundation.
Yeah, TD has a long relationship with the Blue Jays and the Jays Cares Foundation, where we believe that the investment in for the future is really in the youth today. Both the Jays Cares program and the TD financial literacy programs focus on giving the youth today the vital tools they need to be able to be leaders of the future.
Well, Jays Care can't do it without fine folks at TD, and that's it from the Jays Care Community Clubhouse.
Back to you, Buck and Pat.
Ah, that's very cool. Thank you very much. Way to go, kids. Great job by Hazel down there in that community care center. Mike Zunino, the catcher.
Sounds like we got some announcers. They want our jobs. That's awesome. I think what they're doing today with the Jays Care auction, it's one of the best things that we get to do all year.
Well, and it's really good because it's a national auction. People can watch TV and call in and make the bids online. Wade LeBlanc talking to Paxton about what has gone on to this point. Blue Jays have just one hit through 3 innings. Zunino pops it into the seats. Mike Zunino, a terrific catching prospect with a lot of power. And an oblique injury, went on the DL on the 30th of March. Wasn't activated until the 19th of April. Changeup popped in the air. Smoke moving underneath it, and that wind is really creating havoc with these pop-ups and fly balls. One out. Let's check in again with Ivanka.
Well, it's official. The Buck Martinez bobblehead is sold out, and with this wind, it's been bobbling a lot. But yes, it is officially sold out. You can still, of course, go online and check out some of the other items you can buy. But Pat, I think you need a bobblehead for next year's auction.
That would be great.
I don't know if I could sell 50 of them in 2.5 innings or whatever it is, like the big man here, but hey.
That's great. Now, all of you bidders need to get in on the other prizes and make sure that we have a very successful broadcast auction. A lot of good prizes still up for bid. Great opportunities to get some unique prizes only available through the broadcast auction. Feast with Jay Happ. Sightseeing with Aaron Sanchez. Batting practice with Justin Smoke. High fly ball, Pilar. He knows all about the wind here. Backed up. Planted himself and makes the catch.
The Lawn and Garden event is on now until May 15th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Here's how.
There is the bobblehead, so I think that's a great idea. Pat should do a bobblehead next year, and everybody can donate, contribute. But we want to thank you for all those people that called in and made a bid on the bobblehead. D. Gordon pops up into foul territory. Russ Martin gets over and slams against the wall, but can't make the catch. That wind just kept pushing it further and further away from Russell. You know, there's so many items on this broadcast auction. As we look at this play by Martin, he got to the wall, and you could see he just kind of threw his glove up in a desperate attempt to make the catch. You can have Jerry Howitt record a voicemail message for all your voice messages. That's a great one.
I heard that was just added today or yesterday.
I believe so. Yes, sir. There she goes.
I'm not home right now, but call back.
Gordon hits another high pop-up into center. Pilar calls for it early on. Another good inning. 3 up, 3 down for Jaime Garcia. Seattle has a 2-0 lead. Blue Jays will send Hernandez, Donalds, and Solarte against Wade LeBlanc.
Jose Cruz Jr. That's a fun group. Green fees, food, and beverage are also included with that. And you'll also get a Blue Jays golf shirt and hat. Or right now, this is a steal of going to New York City to see the Jays play the Yankees. There's 2 games that you'll get to see there. You'll get 2 nights accommodation, and that is for 4 guests. So again, you can call the number on your screen. These lovely people are waiting to answer your calls.
Absolutely. A great opportunity to go to the Big Apple and see the Blue Jays take on the Yankees, and you get a chance to visit the town August 17th and 18th at Yankee Stadium. A Friday night game, Saturday afternoon game, and 4 personalized Blue Jay replica jerseys.
You get to golf with the Shaker Mosby.
That in itself,
yes,
is worth $3,000 or $4,000.
That would be a lot of fun.
He can tell some stories, can't he?
He's just a blast to be around every day.
Of course, there's a sweet night in the 6, taking a game on Thursday, June 7th, when the Blue Jays take on the Orioles in a luxury suite with 15 guests. Another great opportunity for a birthday celebration, an anniversary. An opportunity to enjoy a great atmosphere here at Rogers Center with the luxury suite. You get to see Ace, the Blue Jays mascot, come and visit in your suite. Everybody will get a Blue Jays t-shirt and a swag bag. High fly ball deep to center field. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. Teoscar Hernandez. A solo home run to center field. His 6th home run of the season, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
Yeah, just like that. Another home run. They lead the major leagues in home runs. Teoscar Hernandez has improved himself as a hitter to the point that he can hit home runs with 2 strikes. He cut down his swing. You saw the previous pitch, how he had a half swing, fouled it back, got something to his liking, and I'll tell you what, he put it in the WestJet flight deck. Home run number 6. That young man's got some power.
Wind didn't have any effect on that ball at all. So it's a 2-1 game. Seattle still has the lead. Josh Donaldson goes after that first pitch breaking ball.
Okay, remember it's 0-2. LeBlanc tries to go up and away. Look at this. Short swing. Barrels that thing up. Not a lot of extra movement. Wow, what a pretty swing. Watch where this ball ends up. Just stays inside that ball. The bat stays on the hitting plane and just drives it out of here. No doubt about it.
Changeup. Donaldson chases down. 1-2 now to the DH. Josh hitting .208 at the moment. 5 homers and 13 runs driven in. He wouldn't chase that changeup. Fly ball. Henniger moves over to his right, makes the catch.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
That is a live shot of CN Tower. First time this year the roof has been pushed back. That's a good sight. I always marvel at the players from the visiting teams that come here for the first time to stand up in front of their dugout and look up. Oh man, that's way up there.
We have firsthand knowledge of how high that thing is.
And ever Solarte hit one back to the mound that LeBlanc turned into a 1-4-3 double play that ended the first.
See, I think LeBlanc's the type of pitcher the Blue Jays can look for the ball out over the plate. Just start thinking about left center field, right center field. If he tries to pound you inside, just tell yourself you're going to be short to the baseball. Just be quick, and you're just going to react to that ball, but he's going to be away.
There's a base hit to left field. So Arte got up on top of that one and hooks it into left field. A one-out single, second hit of the inning off LeBlanc.
Just 86 miles an hour, and he's able to get the barrel out in front of that baseball. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined, available now. See, if you look for the ball out over the plate, you can react like he did on that fastball. It's just 86 miles an hour. Turns on it.
Justin Smoak takes one right on the inside corner. Smoak has 2 career home runs against Wade LeBlanc. He is 2 for 3 against the lefty.
Changeup.
Changeup's been a good pitch for him.
See, if you're looking for the ball out over the plate, you're not going to be fooled by that. You just react to the ball inside. He's throwing a lot of changeups. He's looking for a ground ball right here. That's why he's trying to throw off-speed pitches and make Smokey reach for it.
Ground ball. Segura to second for one. Cano back to first. And Smoak beat it out. Justin Smoak hustling out of the box, gets up the line to keep the inning alive. Segura made a strong throw. Cano's got one of the best turns at second in baseball. But Smoak beat it out.
He doesn't have to worry about that runner taking his legs out anymore. He just fires it over to first base. And it doesn't look like the Mariners are going to check this one. Smokey there in time.
So that'll give Kevin Pillar a chance against LeBlanc here with 2 outs. I think one of the big reasons that Lamar has gotten off to this good start is the fact that he doesn't try to pull that outside strike. He'll go the other way with it. He'll drive it up the alley in right center, take it down the right field line.
I looked at his hits by direction because I was thinking the same thing today. He's got 20 to left field, 16 to center field, and 6 to right field. So yeah, he's hitting that ball when it's away from him. Hitting the ball all over the ballpark. He's hitting much better this year with 2 strikes. He's hitting .291 when he has 2 strikes. A great approach at the plate right now.
There's a base hit. What a good stroke right there for Kevin Pillar. He pitched him away. He hit it away.
And again, another 2-strike hit. He says, you know, there's no panic anymore. You know, I'm either going to have a good at bat or I'm not going to get a base hit. So you don't have to, you know, get yourself all excited. Change up down and away. Doesn't try and pull it. Just punch it through that right side. First baseman's holding that runner on. That's a easy base hit.
His 43rd hit of the season. That's the most on the Blue Jays. And he leads in many offensive categories, leads the team. Russell Martin goes after the first pitch. Force at second, that ends the inning. The Blue Jays score on the home run by Teoscar Hernandez, his 6th. We'll go to the 5th, 2-1 Seattle. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio.
your chance to find out and ask some questions, although they might not answer you because they're kind of busy. Yeah, these are the very hardworking and talented crew that put on the Jays games, all 162 and hopefully more. But you'll get to meet Tim and Sid at the Sportsnet studios, and also Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle, and I believe Buck and Pat. They'll have a tour of the broadcast booth as well.
Absolutely. A great opportunity to see what makes this TV show click. And Pat and I are probably the least important people on this show. Everybody down in that truck does a terrific job. Doug Lawton, Troy Clara, everybody involved down there. Pat and Andre on the video machines, making sure we have all the replays as quickly as possible.
They make us look good, don't they?
Andrew makes us sound good.
It makes us sound good, right?
But it's a terrific opportunity if you have any interest at all in broadcasting, and it's a great chance to go behind the scenes and see how we put the TV shows on, how the radio works, and a chance to meet Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle. Plus, you get a couple of field level tickets to the Blue Jays game. Gene Segura takes a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the shortstop. He is 2 for 2. He scored a run in the 3rd. Had an infield hit, went to second when Garcia threw it away at first. There's a good fastball. Ran off the plate away. 3rd strikeout of the game for Garcia.
He's using that fastball effectively. That's 5 in a row now that he has set down. Be aggressive with the fastball. Watch how much that ball moves. We mentioned that this is a team that doesn't swing and miss a lot. This guy, Gene Segura, doesn't swing and miss at all. But he gets that one by him because he's got great movement on that pitch. Keep pounding it in there.
Robinson Cano takes a curveball downstairs for ball 1. Cano is 0 for 2, but he had a lot to do with the 2nd run they scored in the 3rd when he hit a ground ball to first to move the runner Segura from 2nd to 3rd.
This is a good hitting team, the Seattle Mariners. Here's a good fastball.
Jake Petrichka standing by. He appears to be ready if needed. It's a 2-1 ball game.
I don't think they've hit their stride yet, putting it all together. Seattle, the hitting and the pitching and the defense. There are 9 teams that have a minus run differential in the American League. Seattle's one of them. They have a -2 run differential.
Edgar Martinez, a hitting coach for the Mariners, terrific hitter in his playing days, and he has adapted to coaching. And you know, you can be a great hitter, but not a lot of great hitters become great hitting coaches
because the game came so naturally to them.
Gurriel snares that line drive off the bat of Cano.
I've been with batting coaches that say, okay, take that ball and hit it to right field. This is how you do it. Whoa. Okay, well, you could do that because you were stronger or you had better wrist or whatever. There's a good piece of defense right there. It's how did you hit that ball the other way? Can you explain it to me where I can understand it and then incorporate it?
Yeah, and he was one of the best hitters in his era. Edgar Martinez as a DH, played some third base early in his career. A borderline Hall of Famer for sure. I tell you what, Luke Mailey's going to need a couple of ice bags tonight after this game, the way he's been blocking those balls in the dirt. He's done a terrific job. There's only been one wild pitch, and that was to the first batter of the game. It was strike 3, and it got away from Mailey. But ever since then, he's probably had 12, 15 balls in the dirt that he's blocked up very effectively.
And if he catches a win tonight, I'm sure he wouldn't mind as many ice bags as it would take to feel better.
Three to Nelson Cruz. Cruz is playing in his 14th big league season. And it took him a while to really develop into the hitter he has become. He takes 4 straight balls for a 2-out walk.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
Pete Walker checking on the status of Jake Petrichka. Garcia has thrown 87 pitches. The walk to Cruz, his 4th of the game.
Now, I'm not down in the dugout, and I don't know what's going on in his head or anything like that, but just watching Jaime this year, I think he's the type of pitcher that would be better the later he gets into a game. Gets a little tired. If he can throw the ball over, it moves so much that if he gets over 100 pitches, 100, 115, 120, he might be better, because if he can just throw strikes with it. John Gibbons might need a little extended innings tonight.
Well, you remember Gibbons went to the mound. The first mound visit was in the 1st inning. He went to the mound after Kyle Seager was hit by a pitch, and he delivered a message, and obviously we don't know what the jux of that message was, but it was something about, hey, let's go. We need you to pitch deep now. O has joined Petrichka in the bullpen. 2-0 to Haniger. Now 3-0. That's 7 straight balls. All with 2 outs.
This is where pitchers learn to work through it right now. He's got 90 pitches. It's only the 5th inning. You got to figure out a way to get outs now without your best stuff.
3-0. Up and away, back-to-back 2-out walks here in the 5th. The Blue Jays had scored a run on the Hernandez home run in the bottom of the 4th. Now Pete Walker's going to come out and have a chat with Garcia. Kyle Seager has been hit by a pitch and walked. He's the batter that Garcia will try to end the inning against.
It's probably his last batter, one way or another. You've got a right-handed power hitter on deck in Healy. If he doesn't get Seager, we'll probably see Petrichka.
As we mentioned, Seager was hit by a pitch in the 1st, and then he walked in the 3rd. You just have to think sooner or later he's going to open up and look for an inside pitch. They're going away. There's an inside pitch, and he grounds it to first. Good job by Garcia. 2 out, 2 walks. Strands them both. It's still a 1-run game.
out the first pitch. 14-year-old Neiman attends Emily Carr Public School, where he participates in the Home Run Scholars, one of the many Jays Care programs. He's never missed a day of the program and was selected by his peers to throw out the first pitch because he displays all the qualities of a great leader. His dedication to coaching his peers, to his schoolwork, and to helping others are some of the qualities that make Neiman a great leader as well as a great teammate. So congratulations to Neiman. Buck.
Well, that's a great moment, and you know it's a special moment for him because his peers voted that he should throw out the first pitch to represent them, and there's a bunch of kids enjoying some food up in the Jays Care Community Center. Gurriel goes after the first pitch changeup. Remember, Gurriel saved a run in the first inning on a heads-up play when he threw to the plate on a hot shot grounder to short. And there's a drive down the left field line, but that's going to hook foul. So with Cruz at the plate, Cruz had a hot shot to the shortstop. The infield was back, but Gurriel made a nice play and came up and threw to home to get Segura in a rundown.
Yeah, they kept that runner from scoring at third base. He got there with nobody out, and they couldn't score.
Gurriel now has to hang tough with the count 0-2. Gets a piece of it. Big hop for Seager at third. One away. Kyle Seager, we talk about that great play he made last night. He was a Gold Glove winner in 2014, an All-Star that same season. He committed just 8 errors in 157 games playing at third base. Had a terrific year in the field.
Watch this play. We've been talking about it tonight. Cutter down, and he actually catches the ball behind him, and that's the impressive part of that whole play. Coming up and just blindly throwing the ball over to first base on one hop. The play of the day.
Ground ball up the middle. Maley is thrown out by Cano. Made another fine play at second. Cano's 35 years old. He still plays like a kid, and he can absolutely pick it at second.
Wade LeBlanc was thinking about maybe kicking at this ball to try and keep it in the infield. He's probably happy he missed it, because there's Robbie Cano. That great strong arm. He still has it. Luke thinks he has a hit.
But Cano's got arm strength. He threw that flat-footed and threw it in plenty of time. Dalton Pompey hit a line drive to left field. Gurriel was at second, and Gurriel thought it was going to get down for a base hit. Ended up a 7-4 double play. Pompey quickly behind 0-2. Too far outside with that changeup. Dalton's now 25 years old. He is from Mississauga. He's had parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues. Most playing time was in 2015. Pompey called for the swing. That's the third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Wade LeBlanc has the lead through 5 innings. Looks like O is going to come in the game to start the 6th.
And forget the selfies. Put away your own camera and hire a professional photographer. In fact, the official photographer of the Blue Jays, Michelle Prada, for a 1-hour family photography session, a maximum of 15 family members, and you can do it right here at the Rogers Center. You get an online gallery, 6 Jays replica jerseys, even Ace will come by, and of course you'll get food and drinks. And this is really cool because Michelle is the go-to photographer for the players and their families, so you know she's good. Buck?
She's very good, and that's another great opportunity. If you're celebrating someone's birthday, bring all the kids down. You're getting ready for a wedding, bring the wedding party down. Lots of great things.
I can speak from experience. I had my Christmas cards done by Michelle last year. Got the whole family down on the field. She did a tremendous job. That's a great idea.
Here is Sun Wong Oh making his 17th appearance for the Blue Jays in this 2-1 game.
Oh's been much better lately. He last worked Saturday in that game down in Tampa Bay. 2 innings. All he gave up was a walk in those 7 batters that he faced. He's allowed only 1 hit in his last 6 outings, so he's starting to round into form for the Jays.
High fly ball, playable for Hernandez, and it wind is still a factor. You've got to stay with everything and play it out. So Healy's down, 1 out for O.
Fastball, slider is what you're going to get. His fastball, he's been putting it in a much better place. Early in the year, he was missing a spot with his fastball. Right now, he's putting it where he needs to and then getting enough strikes with his slider.
First pitch strike. The key to anybody's success. This is the catcher, Mike Zunino. Zunino is 0 for 2 to this point. Jason Bradford starting to loosen up for Seattle. It's a good fastball, and you're right. We have seen his stuff ramp up a notch or two. Better velocity, better location, sharper breaking ball.
Yeah, the big thing for me is the location. It's been much better, especially with his fastball.
Makes quick work of Mike Zunino. 2 up, 2 down for O here in the 6th.
They want to go upstairs. Remember last night, Mike Zunino showed some power taking the ball down and away from him and lifting it over the fence in right field. So to combat that, the Blue Jays are going to start pumping high fastballs right at the letters against Zunino. O will pick up the strikeout. Pitch away from his power.
First pitch swinging. Martin's got a tough chance at third. What a nice play. Russell Martin getting his first start of the season at third base, makes a terrific one-handed grab and throws a strike to first base. That keeps it a 1-run game. Martin, like he's been doing it all season long, throws out Heredia to end the inning. us from one of TD's community partners. Welcome, and you are in the first game with the roof open. Russell Martin, making his first start at third, has made a terrific play.
See how he keeps his feet moving, sees that swinging bunt. His only play is the barehanded. And there's the catching athleticism as he fires over to first base to finish off the inning. That way, Russell. First start of the season at third base. Josh Donaldson DHing tonight.
So Chasen Bradford will be the pitcher as he takes over for Wade LeBlanc. It's his 11th game of the season, and he will face the top of the order.
He was claimed off waivers from the Mets. Doesn't throw overly hard, but it's basically sinker slider. Gets a lot of ground balls, throws a lot of strikes, mixing a changeup every now and then. 31 innings this season, 25 strikeouts, just 7 base on balls. Excuse me, that was last year. So he is a strike thrower.
Teoscar is 2 for 2. Had an 0-2 base hit in the first and hit a deep home run to center field in the fourth. Just barely foul. He may have broken his bat. Sounded like it hit toward the end of the bat.
What an impressive player he's been. Teoscar playing right field. A little bit more comfortable, he says, in right field. That power might really play as a right fielder.
He has 16 extra base hits. 26 hits overall. 16 of those have been for extra bases.
Called up last year, September the 1st. Guess who has more RBIs, the most RBIs by the Blue Jays since then? That guy right there.
He also hit 12 home runs in his first 40 games as a Blue Jay. That's tied for the second most in team history. Tony Bautista hit 13. Troy Gloss is tied with Hernandez, having hit 12 in his first 40 games as a Blue Jay. That's a big improvement that Teoscar has made, laying off those tough breaking balls.
His home run came on an 0-2 pitch.
So did his single. Another slider. Look at that stroke. Get down. Fair ball. And the fan touches it, and that'll be 2, and that's unfortunate. Hernandez was on his way to third when that fan reached over the field and caught the baseball.
Yeah, and the fans are letting them know that.
They're going to place him at third. That's a good call by the umpires. It's not a ground rule. It's an interpretation. Scott Service is saying, wait a minute. Now, you're telling me that that ball down there, and it's an umpire's judgment as to where the player would have been had it not been touched by a fan. So that's why Service is out to argue.
And it didn't look like it was going to bounce out of play. It looked like it was going to stay in play. You know, when the ball ended up fair, I'm like, that's going to be a triple. Please don't touch the ball down the right field line. Look at this 2-strike approach. Just slice it down the right field line. It's fair. Again, it doesn't look like it's going to go into the stands. Right there, away, and then the fan reaches over and grabbed it, but that looked like it was going to be 3 for sure.
Yeah, and Teoscar came out of the box hustling. He saw it was going to be fair, and the right fielder Henniger was over in right center. So Scott Service, the manager, has asked for the umpires to have a look at it.
What do you think they're looking at? If the ball was going to bounce into the stands, if
Probably
it bounces
where it was.
If it bounces into the stands, it's ground rule double.
Right, but the boundary rules cover fan interference. Where did the fan make interference, and where was Hernandez when that interference occurred? Those are 2 things you'll have to look at.
Oh, I love that swing. Here he comes. He's thinking extra bases all the way.
The umpires have the right to place the base runner according to where they think he would have ended up had not the fan interference taken place, and that's why they awarded him third base. So the fan now is getting a visit from security, and anytime you interfere with a ball in play, obviously you're going to be asked to leave. But there's no telling where that ball was going to bounce had it been untouched.
Yeah, left alone. Haniger was going to have to go in there and dig it out somehow, and that could have cost a couple of seconds, and that would have given him a chance to go to third.
You just can't predict if he's going to field it cleanly, if it's going to bounce past him. But the Mariners looking up at the Jumbotron out in center. Jeff Kellogg on the left, the umpire is the crew chief.
What I love about Hernandez is his effort. Not taking anything for granted. Not saying, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to just cruise right into second base with a stand-up double. He was running hard all the way, slider down and away. Look how hard he's bringing it out of that batter's box. Cuts the turn at first base. He's still going hard.
See, that ball never bounced into the crowd. The umpires are calling fan interference, but it never bounced out of play into the seats.
Stayed in fair territory.
But how about the night for Hernandez? And they're going to send him back to second. So according to the replay reviews in New York, the umpires determined that Hernandez would not have been able to reach third given where Haniger was playing, but you just don't know how that ball's going to bounce.
Well, single, double, home run. He's a triple shy of the cycle.
And they've all been two-strike hits. Last year, he would have swung and missed at all three of those two strikes. Not the case this year. Another extra base hit for Hernandez. Josh Donaldson is 0 for 2. Well, that's a good slider. Good spot, late break.
Yeah, that's his best pitch. His debut, retired 9 of the 10 batters he faced. Jason Bradford. Again, he was claimed off waivers from the Mets back in January. Sinker, slider, and I'm sure that's all that Josh Donaldson's going to see now with 2 strikes. All sliders.
Remember, the Jays Care broadcast auction still going on. The TD All Access Experience is there. There are the numbers to call. 1-2 to Donaldson. He's called for the swing. Donaldson can't believe it. Quinn Wolcott called him for the swing. So Donaldson strikes out for a second time. He's called for the swing by the home plate umpire without an appeal.
A little bit harder slider that time. He thinks he holds up, and Josh is asking, why don't you ask? But if the home plate umpire sees it himself and he sees a swing, and he called it right away.
First out of the inning. Yervis Solarte will bat left-handed for the first time tonight. He singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Goes after that first pitch. Solarte with 9 home runs on the season. He's driven in 22. This should favor Solarte as you see John Axford loose down in the Blue Jays bullpen.
He's got to get that slider up. He's going to get a slider. Just make sure it's up where you can handle it and keep it fair.
Yeah, that's why I think it favors him, because everything's coming into him. He's going to use that slider, but he's got to make sure that it's a strike. Oh, he got a good one to hit. Up out over the plate. You can see Stottlemyre's upset. He fouled it back. That's a home run pitch.
Yeah, elevated slider. He had a good cut at it.
Two-one ball game. Mariners have 3 hits, but they have the lead. Blue Jays about hit them 5-3. Another slider. That was a tough pitch, but he gets the bat on the ball. Boy, you saw the hitting coach, Brooke Jacoby, talking with Les Martin, going over Bradford. They haven't seen him before, but you see the chart. All those hot zones, the different places he goes on different counts. There's so much information available. I mean, you could think of anything, and they've got a stat for it, and they've got a number for it for that particular pitcher.
Yeah, one of the big numbers is, does he throw a lot of pitches in the strike zone? And he does. He doesn't walk too many people. And he can get that slider over.
Bradford has walked 3 and struck out 13 now after the Donaldson strikeout. Wade LeBlanc went 5 innings through 58 pitches, and he's just now getting stretched out, so they were quick to go to the pen. Of course, they didn't need any relievers last night. Too high. Full count. Justin Smoke will bat next. There's 1 out. Stottlemyre getting on the phone to the bullpen. High fly ball, not that deep. Hernandez going to tag. Throw from Gordon. Not in time as Hernandez moves up on the deep fly ball to center.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Two-one ball game. Blue Jays have a tying run at third base now, but there are 2 outs for Justin Smoke.
It's a good bullpen that the Mariners have. If there's a little crack in their armor, they've given up 18 home runs in their bullpen.
Well, there's a nice block by Zunino to keep that runner at third.
Blue Jays have a home run hitter up there in Justin Smoke. He's got to pick out one of those sliders now.
There you see the defense. Cano is out in shallow right field. Segura almost behind second base. Fastball right on the corner. 18 home runs, that's 12th in the American League, and anytime you give up home runs out of your bullpen, it means they're coming late in games. And the Blue Jays have been the best at scoring late in ball games. Smoke stays on that outside pitch, but that's going to slice foul.
Yeah, we're not quite into the 7th inning. That's when the Blue Jays do their best work offensively.
One of the upsides for that bullpen for Seattle is strikeouts per 9 innings. They are second in the American League in that category. Smoke lays off that slider. Nick Vincent starts to loosen up down in the Mariners bullpen. They had an off day on Monday, and of course the no-hitter was thrown last night by James Paxton, so their bullpen is well rested.
High slider.
can't hold on to it.
Yeah, Juan Nicasio and Edwin Diaz have done a great job for this team in the 8th and 9th inning. We just got to figure out a way, being down by a run, to get the lead before those two come into the game.
Smoke hits it high and deep, but foul into that third deck.
That would have worked. That's what I mean about that slider. It's coming in so fast, it's hard to keep it straight. You got to catch it out in front. See if he can get one over the plate, but Smokey is a little bit too quick.
Two and two now to Smoke. Full count, 2 outs. Kevin Pillar is on deck if Smoke can keep the inning alive. Teoscar Hernandez is 3 for 3. Smoke stays alive.
Yeah, he is seeing a lot of sliders. And as a hitter, you start seeing all of these pitches. You start timing up that slider, you see it out of his hand. He's asking for one more over the plate.
Everybody wants to see the Smoke show. Another 3-2 pitch. Another foul. It's interesting how they haven't gone back to that fastball away. Smoke had a couple of good swings at that pitch.
Starting to time up that slider. Don't get too big right here in your swing. Just see it, recognize it, put a good swing on it. There's your fastball.
Another foul. 6 foul balls by Smoke in this at bat. Quite a battle going on between Bradford and Smoke. Mike Zunino in the middle of it, the catcher, trying to figure out how to end this at bat. Smoke putting up a battle. The 11th pitch of the at bat. Left one out over the plate. They've all been down, but Smoke's very good low ball hitter.
That's where he likes it, out over the plate, and he can hit it out the left field. Blue Jays already have 1 home run tonight. When they hit 2 home runs in a game, they're 13-4.
Another slider coming from Bradford. What an at bat by Smoke. He works the walk. So that'll bring Pillar to the plate. Kevin is 1 for 2. And manager Scott Service coming out of the dugout. It doesn't look like, oh yeah, he has made up his mind. He's calling for the bullpen. So after Smoke puts up a long at bat and works the walk, we'll have a pitching change here.
As you see, there are hundreds of Jays Care kids in attendance tonight. Jays Care providing opportunities for thousands of kids all across Canada. Kids living in inner cities, kids living with physical and cognitive disabilities, kids living in First Nation and Indigenous communities, and girls without access to sport. And throughout the 2018 season, Jays Care is celebrating the Unstoppable Kids campaign with powerful stories of strength and resilience featuring kids in Jays Care programs. So to learn some of these great stories and meet some of the names, just head over to jayscare.com/unstoppablekids. Buck.
All they need is an opportunity and an encouragement to have successful lives, and Blue Jays Care allows them to do that. It's a terrific organization, and they do a lot of good for youngsters across Canada. Nick Vincent, the veteran, making his 16th appearance. He's inherited a jam here with 2 outs.
He is an unsung type of pitcher out of that bullpen. Usually has to come in these types of situations and bail out that pitcher who is in there. His fastball is sneaky, but his best pitch is probably that cutter. Pillar's going to get a lot of cutters right here.
There's a cutter popped in the air over near the seats, and it's back out of play. Vincent spent 4 years with the Padres. He was drafted out of Long Beach State in California. This is his 3rd season with the Mariners. He's had a nice career. His career ERA is 3.09. He has 4 career saves, but he's a middleman. He's a guy that comes in and does very well.
52 holds. 52 holds over the last 3 seasons.
Pillar hits it into right. Haniger moves to his right and makes the catch, and Vincent gets out of the inning. The Blue Jays strand a pair. They'll go to the 7th. Seattle holding on to that 1-run lead. John Axford coming on.
The last out in the 7th to place your bid on one of the auction items tonight, like maybe this one, Major League memorabilia, a signed Jays jersey by team members from 2018 team, a game-used crack bat by Devin Travis, or game-used third base from a game against the Red Sox a couple of years ago, and of course a couple of autographed balls, and I'm sure you can recognize the middle one right there by Joe Carter, and also Justin Smoak signing one as well. Right now the bid for this is $2,500, so you still got time to call in. Buck?
Absolutely. Make sure you don't get shut out in this Jays Care broadcast auction. An opportunity to make some final bids. John Axford into the ball game. Sun Wong 0 through 7 pitches. Oh, look at Russell Martin. He's had quite a night in the field. Takes a hit away from D. Gordon.
That's another little star we're going to put down to Russell Martin's name. He finished off the 6th inning on a great play against Heredia, and he starts the 7th with that pick and flip over to first base. This is why they call it the hot corner. Ball gets on you very quickly. He shows he's got the reflexes and the instincts to play over there.
Gene Segura has had a good night at the plate. He scored a couple of runs, has an RBI. Actually scored 1 run. John Axford has been very good. His ERA 156. This is his 16th game of the season, and the strikeouts have been impressive.
Pitched an inning last night against the Mariners. Came in here and used that bowling ball sinker very effectively.
It's going to reach the seats out of play. Axford and Paxton had a chance to catch up, and John Axford was sitting on the bench, and he was the only Blue Jays that stayed for the on-field celebration. He stayed out and watched James Paxton as his team was celebrating the no-hitter. Only the second Canadian pitcher to throw a no-hitter in the major leagues. Lined into center. Here comes Pilar, and he's going to keep it in front of him. Kevin Pilar did a great job of getting to that ball, and if he wasn't going to catch it, he made sure he kept it in front of him.
Yeah, had to smother it and keep it in front of him. That gets by him. It's 3 for sure for Segura. That's a tough play. You got to read the angle off the bat. He is shading him to right center field, but he gets a great jump on this ball. Reads it right away, right off the crack of the bat, and he almost comes up with it. Watch how close he comes. Right off the tip of the glove.
A little strawberry for sliding on this artificial surface. Now it's Robinson Cano. Segura has 3 hits tonight. He's got 3 of the 4 hits. Mitch Haniger has the other, a ground rule double.
These next 2 hitters for the Mariners have done a lot of damage against John Axford in the past. So this is a big inning. They need a shutdown inning. They probably haven't faced his super sinker that he has perfected this year.
Cano fouls it up the third baseline. Segura with 3 hits tonight. It's the 6th time this season he's had 3 hits in the game. That's his season high. Segura came into this game batting .280s up to .293 now.
Got shut out last night. 0 for 5.
Cano behind 0-2. Another tight ball game for John Gibbons. 2-1 Seattle leads it. First run of the game scored on a strikeout and a wild pitch. He reached base, and D. Gordon came around to score on his Segura double. But D. Gordon struck out to start the game, got the first on the wild pitch. Right behind him, then Segura doubled down the left field line. Segura scored the 2nd run of the game in the 3rd inning when he had an infield hit and went to second on the air by the pitcher.
That could have been, that first inning could have been ugly for the Blue Jays. Great play by Gurriel to keep that runner at third base. Rob Cruz of a hit, then a walk and a hit batter, and the bases were loaded. And they ended up stranding all 3 of those runners.
All right, there's a good cutter from Axford, and Cano strikes out. Let's check in again with Ivanka.
For those of you with a smaller budget, don't forget about the items that are available online. The MVP necklace for $199. It's beautiful, and you can design it however you'd like with whatever initials you want. It's 10-karat yellow gold signature initial, so that's $199. There's also fan packs for $125 each. You get an autographed baseball, a hat, phone grip, fanny pack, and a who doesn't need a thumbs up phone finger? We could all use one of those. Again, you can get those online, Buck.
That's very good, Ivanka, and there's a lot of opportunities, and make sure you don't get shut out. The broadcast auction closes 10 minutes after the end of the 7th inning. Nelson Cruz He's 0 for 2, and he hit that ball, was robbed of an RBI for sure by Gurriel.
That might turn out to be the defensive play of the game. Who knew in the first inning? If the Blue Jays can come back and win this one.
Yeah, the Blue Jays were playing the infield back. There was one out when Nelson Cruz stepped to the plate. They were already down a run, and they were going to concede a second run. But Gurriel made a heads-up play. Axford has thrown the ball very well all spring, and that two-seam fastball has been a very important weapon for him. Cruz in the past is 4 for 6 against Axford. Different story tonight. He's doing everything he can to get to those pitches. They're tough.
Like I said, he probably hasn't seen this two-seam sinker that John has picked up. Cano had great career numbers against him. He struck him out. You mentioned the Cruz numbers, and he is really riding that fastball in on him.
Axford's ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Segura's on first with his 3rd hit of the game. Broken bat. Pompey's there, and Axford has another solid inning. Gives up a 1-out single and nothing more. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays trail by a run.
To see the city of Toronto, then on a bus tour, sightseeing tour. And you can do so with Aaron Sanchez. He'll be the tour guide. No, he won't be the tour guide, but he will be on. The 3 of you will go for a 45-minute bus tour of Toronto, which is pretty cool. You probably both all learn something there. You'll also get some jerseys, 1 night stay at the Fairmont Hotel, and take in Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. So there's still time. Remember, the auction closes 10 minutes after the last out, the bottom half of this inning. And this one, well, right now it's only going for $3,600, so we have to give this some more love.
Absolutely, and the broadcast auction will end after this inning, 10 minutes after this inning is complete. About on a strike to Russell Martin. Nick Vincent came in and got the 3rd out of the 6th inning. We got Pilar to fly out to right field. Chasen Bradford went 2/3 of an inning. He gave up a leadoff double, but that double was stranded at 3rd. Juan Nicasio on the left. James Pazos, the lefty. Foul tip and Martin strikes out.
That's just 89 miles an hour with that fastball. It's got a little cutting action on it, and batters have some problems picking that ball up. Gets on them very quickly. There's a little cutting action. He pitched in 69 games last year for the Mariners. Unscored upon in 57 of them. A very valuable pitcher out of that bullpen.
Bringing a drive to the alley. Nick Gordon, or D. Gordon, excuse me, gets over and makes the catch as Gurriel drove it into center. Gordon's had some problems. He was charged with an error earlier in the game when he dropped the fly ball off the bat of Gurriel. That was in right center. This one in left center. He runs it down.
He's actually playing Gurriel the other way. Look how fast he is to go run this down. He made a couple of nice catches in last night's game. One to his left and one to his right to preserve that no-hitter. Says he's getting more comfortable day by day playing out there. Remember, he was an all-star at second base.
Luke Maile takes one outside. You know, he was an all-star. He was an established big leaguer. He got traded to Seattle, and they said, you're going to play center. And he didn't have a problem with it. So good on him. He had a chance to work with Ken Griffey Jr., who could play a little bit of center field. So that helps. See, Ryan Tepera is ready. Maile fouls it back out of play. 2 balls and a strike to the Blue Jays catcher.
Got a pitch to hit. 2-0. He was looking for a fastball. He got it, and he fouled it back. Right now, he's telling himself, give me that one again. I won't miss it this time.
He didn't miss it. That ball's going to hang up. Heredia looked like he lost it in the lights, and it bounces over his head. Maile is around second. He's headed for third. Here's the throw. No throw. Luke Maile ends up at third with a triple. Heredia looked like he had a beat on it. He was going to make a catch, and then he lost it. For some reason, must have got into the bank of lights.
He made a play back in the 3rd inning against Dalton Pompey on a similar type of ball. Line drive to his left. He came in and made the play and turned the double play. He thought about it, then he backed off. Then he threw his hands up like he didn't see it. The ball stuck up against the wall also. That really helped out. Watch the ball as it gets by Heredia and Gordon. It just bangs up against the wall, stays right there. Maile, look at Luke saying, throw the hat down. I'm going for 3, baby.
First career triple for Luke Maile. It comes with 2 outs in the 7th. Dalton Pompey. Don't talk too much, Luke. You got to catch your breath. His first career triple. Pompey takes it inside. It's 2-0. Dalton's batting left-handed for the first time.
He's going to try and run that cutter in on you. They'll look for it.
(3-0), not close. Teoscar Hernandez is on deck, and he's had a big night at the plate.
This is a huge at bat right here. Huge at bat. Somehow you got to find your way on base.
Got to get Teoscar to the plate. He's 3 for 3 with a home run, a double, and a single. Strike 2. Now it's a full count. Fly ball left field. Slicing away from Heredia. That's a foul ball. Wade LeBlanc started. He went 5 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, chasing Bradford 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, had a walk and a strikeout. Now Nick Vincent, facing his 5th batter since coming into the game with 2 outs in the 6th. Ball 4. So Teoscar Hernandez, who's had a terrific game, will come to the plate. Drive of the game brought to you by the new 2018 Civic Si. When it leads off, it leads for good. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Speaking of leading off, how about this for a leadoff hitter? He singled in the 1st inning, he doubled in the 6th, and in the 4th, Blue Jays only run thanks to Teoscar Hernandez with his 6th home run into the WestJet flight deck in deep center field. You got the right man at the plate at the right time. That was a huge at-bat by Dalton Pompey to get Teoscar to the plate.
All 3 hits for Hernandez have come with 2 strikes. Vincent with a quick visit from the pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. This come up with something different for Hernandez.
His approach with 2 strikes has been sensational tonight. His single went to right field. His double went down the right field line.
Goes after the first pitch and skies it to right. Haniger moving toward the foul line, and that'll end it. The Blue Jays threaten but can't break through. They strand a pair. Will go to the 8th. The broadcast auction will end in 10 minutes. Don't get shut out. Make your calls now and make a bid to help out the Jays Care Foundation.
We've got about 8 minutes to go in this auction. The Foodie Feast with Jay Happ. Right now you can get it for $2,700. It's having a meal with him at the Shangri-La, also taking BP, and 2 tickets to a game. Or, yes sir, there she goes, $700 of Jerry Howard will do your voicemail for you. You can't get that anywhere else. Also, Buck, I think you were talking about the James Paxton baseball.
Absolutely, Ivanka. There's only been 2 Canadian pitchers that have thrown a no-hitter, and that falls now at $1,100. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. James Paxton from Ladner, BC. You get an autographed baseball to commemorate that great no-hitter he threw last night. Ryan Tepera into the game here to start the top of the 8th. Oh, Axford now Tepera out of the Blue Jays bullpen.
7 minutes to get your bids in.
The Mariners have just 4 hits, but they have the lead 2-1. Haniger had a ground rule double in the 3rd. He has the go-ahead RBI in this game as we speak. He drove in the second run of the game in that third inning. Henniger's been on base all 3 times. He's walked twice and doubled. Henniger now has 18 RBIs on the road for the season. Sungwon Oh threw 7 pitches to retire the side in order, had a strikeout. John Axford threw 14 pitches, gave up a single and had a strikeout in his inning of work.
I thought we might see O because he only threw 7 pitches for another inning, but Gibby likes to use more of a power pitcher when you're facing the middle of the lineup, and that's what he did. He went to Axford in the 7th when Gordon, Segura, Cano, and Cruz came up. A little bit more power now because Seattle's got some power hitters in the middle of that lineup.
Henniger draws the leadoff walk, his 3rd walk of the game. He's been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate. TDL excess experience, the current bid $32.50. Only 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the auction. Kyle Seager the batter. Seager is officially 0 for 1. He grounded out to the first baseman in the 5th. He's also been hit by a pitch and walked. Smoke knocks it down as he had to come off the bag to make a play on that pickoff throw from Tepera.
Henniger looks like he wants to run, but he's only had 2 stolen base attempts this season.
He is 1 for 2. Not running here. Fly ball to left field. Pompey again dealing with the wind. He makes the catch this time in fair ground. That'll bring Ryan Healy to the plate. Healy is 0 for 3. The first baseman has struck out, grounded out, and flied out. A big lead for a guy that doesn't steal a lot of bases. Mitch Haniger, and that's going to draw a throw. Good fastball at 97. DeMarlo Hale, the bench coach, is responsible for the running game. He will call the throwovers, the pitch outs, the holds, the slide steps, all of those things to diffuse the running game. Foul ball off the batter's foot. We'll be back here tomorrow night for the 3rd and final game of this 3-game series. Mike Leake, the right-hander, will go to the mound for the Mariners against the lefty Jay Happ. Happ is 4 and 2. And remember, you can have lunch with Jay Happ.
Yes, right.
And if you make the highest bid, that is Mike Leake, who is 3 and 3 with a .628 earned run average.
You got about 2.5 minutes. Get those final bids in.
0-2 to Healy. Again, Hale looking at the third base coach Scott Brocious before he gives his signs.
Yeah, maybe he got something on the Mariners, so he gives the signs. Hold, throw over, step off.
A break on the first move, and Haniger picks up a stolen base. Haniger just took off, and he moves into scoring position. It's his second stolen base of the season.
Ryan was called for a balk in his last appearance down in Tampa Bay. There he is. He steps off, but he goes over to first base, and that allows him to get to second. I asked him, I said, what did they tell you about the balk? He said, I didn't step over to first base. So he's called for a balk. That time he stepped off, which was the right thing.
But Haniger had
taken off,
so you step off, look at the runner, and then you can throw to second. But yeah, in that situation in Tampa Bay, he jumped toward first instead of taking a step toward first. It was a jump spin move. That's a balk. Martin, strong throw. Healy is out, 5-3 on the ground out, second out of the inning.
He's been very busy over there at third base, and he's done a great job.
Welcome to Toronto, 3,600, just half a minute left. Make your calls, get your final bids in. The auction is coming to a close. Foodie Feast with Jay Happ, $2,900. Mike Zunino, the catcher, fouls back that first pitch. Zunino is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. The auction is officially closed, so thank you for all of you who have made bids. And we will have the totals as Ivanka will be back with us to share that, I'm sure. Zunino swings and misses. It's 0-2 on the catcher. Zunino had a 2-run home run in the 4th inning in last night's game, his 5th of the season. He's able to check his swing on that high fastball. There's a good slider. Down and away for the strikeout. The Mariners leave a base runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you love.
Bottom of the 8th inning, it's a 2-1 Seattle lead. They have managed just 4 hits, but they have the lead. Scored the second run in the 3rd inning, and Blue Jays got a home run from Teoscar Hernandez. That's been it. Juan Nicasio, the 8th inning pitcher, making his 18th appearance of the season.
Yeah, setup man for sure. 17 games this year. Seattle 16-1 when he enters into the ball game. He's pitched 17 2/3 innings. They signed him as a free agent this past December, and everybody went, huh? $17 million for 2 years. He was with Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and St. Louis last year. Fastball slider. He's been outstanding this year. Throws hard.
First pitch to Donaldson is inside for ball 1. Nicasio has inherited a tough part of the lineup. Donaldson, Solarte, and Smoke, 2, 3, and 4 in the Blue Jays lineup. Those 2 fastballs haven't been up to par for Nicasio.
Yeah, he is normally upper 90s. Those first 2 fastballs topped out at 92. Anymore, that's just an average fastball. He's got 12 holes, which ranks him first in the American League. Sometimes the games, like you mentioned it, you're facing the best hitters in the 8th inning. Sometimes the saves happen this inning.
2-1 to Donaldson. Little depth on that breaking ball. Went more down than away. Nicasio's had an interesting career. He signed as a non-drafted free agent with Colorado. Then he went from Colorado to the Dodgers, signed as a free agent with Pittsburgh in 2015. 2-2. Slider hit into center. That's going to get down. Gordon over to cut it off. Donaldson is headed for second, and he will get there standing up with a leadoff double. Big hit for the Blue Jays. That double starting the bottom of the 8th inning in a 1-run game.
Strike 2 was a double down. This was a hanging double. Hanging slider that is hit for a double. Look at that thing just spin up there. It doesn't break at all. And Josh slams it into right center field and runs it into extra bases.
That double for Donaldson breaks an 0 for 19. He stayed on that breaking ball. It was a hanger, and Nicasio knew it. So Yanirvis Solarte, he's 1 for 3. Solarte singled in the 4th inning.
Blue Jays came into this game the best team in the American League, or in all of baseball, scoring after the 7th inning. They got a chance again after that leadoff double.
Solarte with a big swing. Got a pretty good pitch to hit. Solarte knows all about Nicasio. They will spend time in the National League. His numbers have dropped off in these situations after a hot start. Foul ball outside of first. We mentioned Nicasio has bounced around a lot. He had a very frightening injury in Colorado in 2011. He had a comebacker. He got knocked off the mound and landed on his head and had a fractured vertebrae, C1 vertebrae. He had to have surgery for that. He's fortunate he was able to come back from that.
He's putting together an all-star type of season beginning of this year.
Blue Jays tonight are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. As a team, they have cooled off in those situations. Solarte wouldn't chase that high fastball.
They've put together some pretty good at-bats the last couple of innings. They had a leadoff double in the 6th inning. Couldn't bring them around and left a couple of runners stranded. They had a triple and a walk last inning and couldn't come up with a big base hit. Left a couple of runners stranded. At the very least, Got to get that guy over to third base.
Another pretty good pitch, inner half and middle out over the plate. Dalton Pompey had a great at bat in the 7th where he worked a walk with 2 outs. That got Hernandez to the plate, and Hernandez would then fly out to right. Bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-1 game.
Good block. Tell you right now, Solarte has seen everything that Ocasio has to offer. I like his chances. Watch how softly Zunino goes down to block this ball. Just go down and just block it with any part of your body.
Robinson Cano, the second baseman, asked for time, went to the mound and called the catcher out. I don't know if it's about pitch selection or about the fact Donaldson's seen a lot of pitches from second base and just gave the battery a heads up. Hey man, you've got to change the signs up. Put Donaldson at second. 3-2 pitch to Solarte. Off speed pitch, he pulls it foul. Justin Smoke. He'll bat next. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Blue Jays have 7 hits and Hernandez has 3 of those. Line drive left field. Get down ball. That's a base hit. Donaldson's around third. He's going to score. Solarte hustling towards second. He slides in safely with an RBI double, and we're tied at 2.
When you see that many pitches like Solarte did, you're just going to get more comfortable. And as that at bat went on and on, you can just tell he was getting more comfortable. I don't care what Nicasio threw up there. He was going to have a good at bat and get a base hit. Anthony Alford's going to run for him. What a piece of hitting right there. Battles to get the count to 3-2. Slices that fastball down the left field line. Blue Jays have another extra base hit. They score another run from the 7th inning on, and they've tied this one all up.
For Solarte, his 23rd RBI of the season. And now, what could they be reviewing here? Scott Service, the Mariners manager, has asked for the umpires to review something.
Here's the only thing I can think of. The pop-up slide at second base. Did he disengage from the bag? Looked like they might have held the tag on there. That's the only thing I can think of. The play was fair. Nobody touched it. It didn't bounce out of play. That has no factor in anything. The only thing I can think of is when he slid into second base. Here, he popped up, but his foot stayed on the bag.
Well, he shifted feet. He popped up and then got his left foot on the base when Cano put the tag on him. Watch him shift his feet. And his left foot is clearly on the base.
Yeah.
But John Gibbons wasn't sure what they were asking for either. He had to come out and ask the home plate umpire. But Solarte with a big game-tying double. His 7th double of the season. And the Blue Jays have tied it up here in the 8th. Another run late in the game. They're certainly checking to see if he maintained contact with the base while Cano put the tag on him.
And he did. He touched it with his right foot, came off, touched it with his left, and then the tag was applied.
Well, that's what we saw.
That's what I saw. Right.
But we have been wrong before.
There's the slide. There's the right foot. It's on. Tag hasn't been made. The left foot's on. There's the tag. Safe. Good call.
So now Quinn Wolcott has come over to explain something to Scott Service. And I think it might have been a total number of mound visits, because remember, Robinson Cano came in during the Solarte at bat and called the catcher out. So the call on the field stands. Solarte knew it all along. Still nobody out. Justin Smoke, the batter. Anthony Alford in the game as a pinch runner at second base.
Okay, same situation. At the very least, you got to move that guy over to third.
Smoke drives it deep to right. That's overheaded or up against the wall. Here comes Alford. He's going to score, and the Blue Jays have the lead. Get him over, get him in.
Yeah, that'll do it right there. Why wait around? He had a long at bat last time up. He eventually walked. That was just last inning. Says, I'm not waiting around at all. First pitch he sees a fastball right there from the Garcia, and he rips it up the alley for RBI number 19.
3 straight doubles by the Blue Jays off Nicasio. And the Blue Jays lead it 3-2. Here's Kevin Pillar, still nobody out.
This guy enjoys the game. He loves his teammates.
Genuine joy indeed from Solarte. Pillar rips it. This is another extra base hit. Up against the wall. Smokes around to score. Here's the throw to second, and Pillar is going to be out. So it wasn't another extra base hit, but it's an RBI single for Kevin Pillar, and the Blue Jays have a 2-run lead.
I don't know what it is. When that scoreboard 7th, 8th, 9th inning says that 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, Blue Jay bats come alive. They came into this game with 69 runs scored from the 7th inning on or later, and they put up 3. I mean, 4 rockets hit this inning.
Everything that he has thrown up there has been hit high. Russell Martin hits it into the seats down the right field line. Donaldson doubled to start the inning, and then Solarte drove him in with a double. Smoke followed suit with an RBI double, and Kevin Pillar hit a shot that was played well off the wall by Heredia, and he threw him out at second. But Pillar picks up the RBI. Kevin is 2 for 4 tonight. Russell Martin, making the start at third base, has had some fine defensive plays at third. One ball, 2 strikes, still just 1 out. Scott Service had the game set up the way they wanted it. Nicasio coming in to protect a 1-run lead. Gives up 4 straight hits and the lead. Martin drives this one into left center. That's down for a base hit. Heredia plays it back into the infield. Another good throw, but Martin slides in safely. That's 4 doubles in the inning.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Nicasio came into this game with 12 holds, which was first in the American League, second in Major League Baseball. They're 16-1 when he enters the ball game, and he's given up 5 straight ropes, and that's going to be it.
Eric Goodell will come out of the bullpen to take over for Nicasio. Goodell, the right-hander, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead here in the 8th.
$25,000 was raised. So well done, everyone, and congratulations to all the winners. 235, nice number.
Nice number, and good job by you, Ivanka, hosting the broadcast auction. And we want to thank all you that have called in and made bids. Eric Goodell makes his third appearance of the season. Goodell is 29 years old. He was originally drafted by the Mets. Spent 4 years with New York, 110 games. This is his first season. He pitched 9 games in AAA Tacoma, and he's just now making his third appearance.
Yeah, he was signed as a minor league free agent this past March on the 20th. Fastball, splitter, and a curveball. That's what you're going to get from Goodell. That looked like the splitter right there. First pitch to Gurriel. He had to throw something different. The Blue Jays have hit everything this inning.
A disappointing outing for Juan Nicasio for sure. He gave up 5 hits, 4 doubles. There's another splitter. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times with nothing to show for it. He's 0 for 3. Blue Jays have out-hit the Mariners 11-4. There's another splitter, and Gurriel strikes out.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King. Available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
I love that shot of the waterfront of Toronto from across Center Island. Luke Maile hit his first big league triple his last time up in the 7th inning. Tyler Clippard loosening up. As obviously Osuna's not with the ball club, and John Gibbons said he was just going to play matchups. He's got 3 veterans down there that have all closed in the past. Maile pulls a base hit. They're going to send Russell around third. Here's the throw from Heredia. It's a good one, but not in time. Luke Maile with another RBI. That gives him 10 for the season. Russell Martin scoring on it.
He got a great break. Remember, there's 2 outs, so he's off on the crack of the bat. He's at second base. He got a very good secondary lead, and his turn at third base was flawless. Louis Rivera's got a judge. There's the effort. Second, the lead. Watch the chirp. He's got a judge. He's got to see where Russell is in relationship to that left fielder. And he outran the baseball. Got his backup catcher an RBI.
Curtis Granderson pinch hitting for Dalton Pompey. Curtis hasn't had too many at-bats of late. Remember, he left the game in Tampa on Friday night with a hamstring problem, and it never really turned into a major injury, so he never went on the DL. But he hasn't had many ABs because of the left-handed pitchers the Blue Jays have faced recently. Splitter, that gets away. Maile is headed for third, and he'll get there standing up. Luke's had quite a game. Did a heck of a job catching Jaime Garcia early in the game. He has a triple and an RBI single. Maile's average at 309.
He has come up with some big hits, haven't he? Hitting with runners in scoring position. Picked up another insurance run. He can come down that line now at third base. Kyle Seager, the third baseman's got to play off the line with the left-hander up there. Louis Rivera's telling him right now, hey, it's got a splitter and he could bounce it, so be ready.
Strike 2 with the fastball. Juan Nicasio started the inning and got just one out. That's because Kevin Pillar got thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. And there was Solarte. He tied the game. And Granderson strikes out as the pinch hitter, but the Blue Jays score 4 runs on 6 hits and take the lead. Tyler Clippard getting a chance for the save. Baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Quite a comeback for the Blue Jays. They went into the bottom of the 8th trailing 2-1. They put up a big 4-run inning to take the lead 5-2. Now for the 9th, it's Tyler Clippard who will get an opportunity to pick up the save.
Yeah, Tyler has closed before in the past in his career, so this is nothing new for him. He can handle lefties. He's going to see a lefty the second batter he faces, and the first batter he's going to face is Gamble, who is pinch hitting.
Richard Urania takes over defensively at second base with Solarte out of the game. Anthony Alford pinch ran for Solarte. He's now in left field for Dalton Pompey, who was lifted in favor of Curtis Granderson. Ben Gamble takes it downstairs. It's a ball and a strike. Gamble was 1 for 3 in the game last night. He made a nice running catch up against the scoreboard in deep left center off the bat of Russell Martin. Gamble batting in the 9th spot.
Clipper can handle left-handers with that great changeup. He's also got a splitter that he can use against the lefties. So that's not a problem.
Clippard has thrown very well for the Blue Jays, and he has certainly earned the right to close. As Pat mentioned, he has plenty of experience as a closer in the past.
Lefty's just 4 for 32 against Tyler.
Clippard had 32 saves in 2012 for the Nationals, 19 more in a split season with Oakland and the New York Mets. He had 17 saves for Oakland.
There's
the end of the bat.
Great changeup right there. Almost got it by him.
All 3 of the veteran relievers, Axford and Clippard, have been their team's primary closer over the course of their career. Clippard in Washington, Axford in Milwaukee, and in St. Louis. So John Gibbons has options, and he has said, I'll just kind of play it as the games dictate. Gibbons used Axford at the top of the order. Gordon, Segura, and Cano. Then he got Cruz. Segura had a base hit, but he was able to close things out, getting Cano and Cruz. So it's just not a matter of what inning is it. It's a matter of what inning is it and where are you in the opponent's lineup.
That's exactly right. Who handles lefties better? Do I want a power pitcher out there, or do I want a guy who throws a lot of change-ups and splitters? He has options.
There's a base hit to left field for Gemmel. A leadoff single. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ben Ennis. Well, they sold out, you know. That's all coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned. Top of the order, the leadoff man, D. Gordon. Gordon struck out and scored in the first. That's right, he reached base on a wild pitch, came around to score the first run of the game. Clippard has really bounced around. He spent 7 years with the Nationals, 3 with the Yankees in a couple of different stints, and then he has pitched for Arizona, the Mets, the A's, the Astros, the White Sox, and now the Blue Jays. 2-1. Now it's 3-1. High fly ball, not deep. Teoscar Hernandez waits for it, makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning.
When you get into these situations, you got a 3-run lead, you start saying, okay, where's the tying run? Where is he? Is he on deck? Is he in the hole? That's why those leadoff singles, those hurt. He turned the lineup over, and now here come the best hitters.
Gene Segura has had a season high 3 hits. It's the 6th time this season he's had 3 hits in a game. He's 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Takes a big swing at that first pitch.
Great time to throw that changeup right there. He is a first pitch fastball type of swinger, and he was waiting for a fastball, and they threw him the changeup. He is going to earn this save tonight if he can get a couple of more outs. These are some good hitters that the Mariners are sending up there.
Clipper with another good fastball. Look at the location of those 2 pitches. Inside corner and outside corner.
So now maybe the other corner, the one up and away right here.
Ground ball double play. He won't have to face Robinson Cano.
That's right.
He strikes out Segura. Just blows it right past him. That strikeout set up by that first pitch changeup.
Absolutely. Changeup. And then he had Segura chasing that fastball around the strike zone to finish it off. He put changeup in his mind with that first pitch, and he's a little bit tardy on that fastball.
Clippard and Cano were teammates in Tyler's first year in New York, 2007. Robinson is 1 for 5 against his former teammate. There's a little slider that he's been throwing a little more frequently of late.
That run over at first base means nothing now with that 3-run lead, so Smoke's going to play off of him. Means nothing. He's going to back up on the pitch.
Cano rolls over on that off-speed pitch, and Clippers ahead 0-2. Blue Jays trying to even the series at a game apiece. A good bounce-back game after they were no-hit last night by James Paxton. 20,290 here at Rogers Center on their feet. Him out. The ball gets away. Maley will throw to first to complete the strikeout, and the Blue Jays win it. 5-2 to even the series at a game apiece. Tyler Clippard picks up the save. The bullpen did a terrific job tonight. Axford, Tepera, and Clippard all keeping the Mariners off the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, they had scored the Mariners. They had a couple of runs after 3 innings. But then the Blue Jays stranded 7 runners through the first 5 innings. They were letting them hang around. The Seattle's letting the Blue Jays hang around, and then the 8th inning came and they blew it open. The bats coming alive in the 8th inning to even this series.
A terrific 8th inning effort. 4 runs on 6 hits, including 5 doubles. Tyler Clippard picks up the save. Thanks for watching, folks. So you have the rubber match tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central with Ken and Ben. Fellas, take it away.